Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, sitting down to talk about Bethesda's very strange announcement. A lot of you have been tagging me with this information over on Twitter. I've done some research these last couple of days since the announcement, and I'm excited to really dive into it in this video because at first, at the surface level, you look at it, and spoiler alert, you go, oh, okay, new 76 related announcement. But as you go deeper and deeper, you look at the new IP trademarks that are happening for Bethesda Game Studios, the moving pieces, the connection of this brand new support studio, Double 11, to Microsoft, and what this can mean for the future of Bethesda. This very small announcement is going quite overlooked because there are a lot of implications to where Bethesda is heading in the future. And it's actually pretty exciting in a lot of ways. Overall, this is good news for 76, for Bethesda, and for potentially this new IP, as well as Starfield. So there's a lot for us to sink our teeth into in this video here today. If you're interested in Bethesda news and information, normally we're, as of late, talking about Starfield, but certainly when things like this pop up, we'll be talking about them. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Double 11. So if you haven't heard of this studio, they're a support team, and you can see their catalog of games here. Their most recognizable ones being things like Rust, Minecraft Dungeons, and that's where the Microsoft partnership comes into play. This is a team that worked with Microsoft to help make Minecraft Dungeons, one of their more significant exclusive launches. Probably not the most relatable one for a lot of you watching this video here, but definitely an important video game for them as Minecraft is gigantic. So the rest of their body of work, I'll be honest, wasn't that impressive to me. But what's significant about Double 11 is they have recently announced that they are working with Bethesda Game Studios on brand new adventures in Fallout 76. So let's read the blog post, go through all of that, and we'll discuss a little bit on that front before we go even further into trademark listings and what this means for the future of Bethesda Game Studios. Adventure awaits in the wastelands of Fallout 76. At Double 11, we've made a name working with some of the biggest developers and publishers in the world. We are excited to be able to announce publicly that we've recently begun working with Bethesda Game Studios to create new challenges for players of Fallout 76. Since its release in 2018, Fallout 76 has invited players from all over the world to create a unique dweller, leave the vault, and explore many wonders and challenges of the wasteland of Appalachia. Bethesda and Double 11 began speaking in late 2020, and since then, we've worked together on a host of exciting new content that will be enjoyed by this passionate community of fans later in 2022. It's a privilege to be trusted to work on one of the most iconic franchises in gaming history, Double 11 CEO Lee Hutchinson said. The team we've assembled to work on Fallout 76 are so passionate about the series, working with Bethesda is a dream come true. We've loved working on this game so far, and from small beginnings, our team is expanding as we plan to develop more content in the future, so keep an eye on our careers page for more information on open roles across all disciplines. So this is very significant on a 76 front for a number of reasons. Before I dive into other things, let me first take the L. I don't think 76 is a dead man walking anymore. It can't be with a partnership like this where they are actively hiring for this game. So I will absolutely take the L on that. I was calling this game was dead, looking at the 2022 roadmap. Maybe it'll be dead for this year, but hey, kudos to Bethesda. They're sticking with it, they're finding a way, and I hope that this does lead to more content that is attractive to me and many others. Not on an RPG front even, as great as that would be, but just taking us to new locations, giving us actual content. When you look at the 2022 roadmap for 76, it's awful. You can't argue to me that this is enough for a live service game multiple years into its life itself. Like, that should not be acceptable. So hopefully Bethesda recognized going to 2022, yeah, this isn't enough. This is not nearly enough. They bring on Double 11 in a much larger capacity because based off the wording here in this post, it seems like this was something that they were already working together on, but now it's become more significant to the point again where if you need any symbol of how serious this relationship is, they're hiring for 76. This creates a lot of great opportunities where some of the responsibilities of this live service game can be pushed off to a new team to help maintain and bring in content. At the same time, however, Bethesda Game Studios Austin can shift their attention to the impending Starfield but also maybe something brand new. And that latter part, while I'm very excited for Starfield, that latter part is perhaps the most tantalizing part of this whole discussion, because we have not talked about it on this channel. If you're a Defining Duke listener, you'll know we've talked about Spyteam, this brand new Bethesda Game Studios, yes, Bethesda Game Studios IP. What is it? Well, there was just a recent trademark listing that was updated for Spyteam. This happened this year in January. This has been an active trademark since 2018, but this is one of the first times it's been reactivated, and the fact that it's happening ahead of E3 is a bit telling. And this is also a trademark, as you can see here, by ZeniMax Media Online. So, Matty being Matty, of course I had to dig a little bit more, right? Really claw through this information, because the rumor was that this was Bethesda Game Studios Austin. For those who don't know, Bethesda Game Studios Austin formerly worked on a game called Battlecry, which ended up being canceled. It was this third-person hero shooter with a Dishonored-like art style. This studio was originally called Battlecry Studios before being rolled into Bethesda Game Studios Austin and being handed the Fallout 76 franchise. So they do have a lot of hero shooter live service DNA from the very origins of that studio. And now, when you look at some of their job listings, I crawled through them, and you'll see some of them are Starfield specific, such as this development QA tester, which it says, join Constellation. Come join Bethesda Game Studios, the award-winning development team behind Starfield, The Elder Scrolls, and Fallout. Obviously, Constellation being one of the main factions in Starfield, so they're hiring for that. But more importantly is this right here, this Senior Environment Artist job listing, which says that Bethesda is looking for a Senior Environment Artist to join our family in creating AAA games for PC and next-generation console systems. So there were previously job listings. You're going to have a bro trust me moment here. There were previous job listings weeks ago that did mention a brand new AAA IP being worked on in Bethesda Game Studios Austin. I think with this news here, they've winded that down a bit more because there's more attention on their studio, and because the games industry is just weirdly secretive. Heaven forbid we know studio is working on brand new game. But I wanted to highlight these job listings because it's clear there's a distinction between Starfield work, between, of course, Fallout work, which is absolutely stated in some of these job listings when it's hiring for 76, as well as this brand new Bleeding Edge, as it's stated here, RPG. Now, don't buy into the buzzwords too much. I've covered Bethesda for years and years and years. Bleeding Edge is like their favorite tagline for any RPG. If you need any reference, they were hiring for Bleeding Edge RPGs before Fallout 4. And as much as I adore Fallout 4, it is not Bleeding Edge in many ways at all. So just keep that in mind, that it is a buzzword. But could this be this Spyteam game that Bethesda Game Studios Austin is working on in-house? It would make sense because this team was handed 76 mostly after the development was completed for it and has been maintaining it since. And based off the content output of Fallout 76, I can't sit here and confidently say that that's all this team has been doing for this time. When you really look at now, we got to go broader, the Xbox perspective, I think it makes sense why you would want to announce Spyteam at this year's E3. You look at the slate of games upcoming, which are, funny enough, for Xbox exclusives, all Bethesda as of this moment in time, being Redfall and Starfield. And if you could find a way to squeeze in their Spyteam, Xbox is pretty barren 2022 outside of the Activision news, suddenly looks a lot more encouraging on a first-party front in the second half of 2022. At least an announcement can also add to the list of Xbox exclusives that people go, man, can't wait to learn more about that one. We'll see you in 2023 or 2024. But when you look at the release date of Fallout 76 in 2018, it's 2022, it would be pretty smart to start talking about this game. Now, based off Xbox's desire to keep rolling quarters, if I really want to go crazy with speculation here, you look at Expeditions for 76, probably around September, Starfield in November, and this game could fit sometime in early 2023. So I am feeling like it is reasonable to expect some type of announcement, and that 76's future is somewhat secure in Double 11. And again, kudos to Bethesda for not giving up and seemingly finding a way to balance all of these. This is where, from the outside looking in, and we can't say this with certainty, this is where the Microsoft acquisition of ZeniMax was a good thing. I don't think it's a coincidence that the partner Bethesda has brought in was actually the same partner that worked on Minecraft Dungeons, and that this all started in late 2020, right? Think of the timing of the acquisition deal, this announcement of the news, all of that combined together, and it makes a lot more sense how these partnerships really went and what Microsoft could possibly be doing for Bethesda. Now, I'm not going to act like Bethesda isn't acting independently and finding out solutions in their own way. Don't get me wrong there, but I do think there's a connection there, and a wise one at that, where Xbox could say, hey, we've worked with this team. They're pretty good. They helped us with Minecraft Dungeons. You got another service game here. Why don't we team them up with you? And there seemed to be a good partnership there. Regardless of how it went down, I think this is a positive impact across the entire Bethesda brand. It's good for Starfield. It's good for the health of the studio. It's good for Fallout 76. It's good for maybe Spyteam if that ends up being true. There's a lot of good here. This is a wise partnership, but again, I've seen very few people covering it because unfortunately this news was announced through the Fallout 76 pipeline, and I get why it was, but this should have been a more loud Bethesda-based announcement that they're teaming up with Double 11, because I think it calls more people's attention to the news and gets more people investigating. Because again, looking at the coverage for it, it's just, here's what's happening with 76, but when you look beyond that, again, I must emphasize, there's much, much more. So here we go. We're on the road to maybe a healthier 76. I don't want to get too optimistic because, again, as I said in the beginning of this video, Double 11's body of work outside of Rust and Minecraft Dungeons, which even those games I'm not crazy about at all, isn't super encouraging. I did kind of like Nom Nom Galaxy, I won't lie, but this is a support studio, so let's not get gung-ho crazy here, but there's something good about this for sure. And I wanted to make sure that I took my proper L and we talked about this in the right way. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about Bethesda's brand new partnership? Fire away in the comments down below. I'm very excited to see your thoughts. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the hell out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.